What does it truly mean to have the biggest heart in boxing? Is it raw power, technical genius, or something much deeper, the refusal to be broken? Why are there fighters you can beat but never defeat? And why, decades later, do we remember their endurance, not their victories? Today isn't just about talent. It's about character under extreme pressure. Stay tuned as we start with number 10, a man even the greatest couldn't put down. Top 1. Jake LaMotta. Jake LaMotta was a world middleweight champion, but his true fame doesn't lie in titles. It lies in his indestructibility. He faced Sugar Ray Robinson, one of the greatest fighters and punchers of all time, 6 times in the ring. And yet, Robinson never managed to knock LaMotta down. That's precisely what makes LaMotta's heart legendary. He could get hit, hard and repeatedly, but he wouldn't go down. His toughness wasn't a pose, it was a law of nature. LaMotta didn't box elegantly, he boxed uncompromisingly. Every punch he took seemed only to make him angrier, more determined. The scene where he shouts at Robinson, telling him he couldn't knock him down, is famous, a moment that became a symbol of his will. LaMotta didn't want to win pretty. He didn't want to give up. His heart was evident not just in resisting pain, but in his willingness to endure anything to stay on his feet. How many fighters would have given up after taking such shots? And why didn't he? That's precisely why this list starts with Jake LaMotta. Top 2. Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier wasn't just a heavyweight world champion. He was the personification of heart in boxing. His left hook was legendary, but what truly made him immortal was his willingness to go through anything. Pain, exhaustion, punches, none of it stopped him. This was especially evident in his 3 historic fights against Muhammad Ali. These duels weren't ordinary boxing matches. They were battles of will. Frazier marched forward, round after round, even though he knew more punches awaited him. In the fight of the century and the brutal Thrilla in Manila, he showed that heart means pushing on when your body has long been screaming to stop. His face was swollen, his vision impaired, but his will remained unbroken. Frazier didn't fight to be loved. He fought to endure. He proved that courage isn't loud, it's persistent. How many would have kept going under those conditions, and how many would have spared themselves as little as Joe Frazier did? Top 3. Johnny Tapia Johnny. Tapia was more than just a multiple world champion. He was a man who not only fought opponents in the ring, but also demons that accompanied him his entire life. Unified IBF and WBO super flyweight champion, later WBA title holder and world champion in multiple weight classes, Tapia brought a kind of heart that can't be trained. Every round he boxed was also an internal fight for survival. Tapia's heart showed itself in his ability to always come back. Setbacks, losses, personal abysses, nothing kept him down permanently. He fought with an intensity as if he had to justify every second in the ring. Punches didn't take away his courage, they strengthened his drive to continue. His career of 66 professional fights is a testament to how strong a person can be, even when torn apart internally. What makes Tapia so special is not just his courage against physical pain, but his refusal to be defeated by his own life. How many would have given up long ago? And how many would have had the courage to get back up again and again, despite everything? Top 4. Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti was the epitome of heart in boxing. It's no coincidence he carried the nickname The Original Gatti, later also known as the Cardiac Kid. IBF Junior Lightweight World Champion and WBC Junior Welterweight Champion. Yet titles tell only a small part of his story. Gatti boxed as if there were no tomorrow. Every fight was a promise to the fans never to back down. His legendary trilogy against Mickey Ward remains one of the most brutal and emotional chapters in boxing history. The first fight, in particular, showed what Gatti's heart truly meant. Badly hurt, marked by body shots. He would have had every reason to quit. But instead, he fought on, punch after punch, round after round, driven solely by willpower. Gotti didn't seek a safe path to victory. He accepted the pain as if it were part of the price one must pay to be great. His fights were chaotic, raw, and honest. How many boxers would have kept going under those conditions? And why is Gotti in particular remembered to this day as a symbol of uncompromising courage? Top 5. Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield earned the nickname The Real Deal for a reason. As a world champion in cruiserweight and heavyweight, he repeatedly proved that heart doesn't depend on physical size. He was often the smaller man in the ring, but as soon as the bell rang, he mentally became the biggest. His courage wasn't shown in words, but in his willingness to accept every punch to deliver one back himself. His first fight against the significantly larger Riddick Bowe, in particular, is an emblem of Holyfield's heart. Physically disadvantaged, he took punches that would have broken many fighters. But Holyfield didn't back down. He fought with discipline, pride, and an inner toughness that carried him beyond his limits. Every attack was a statement. I might be smaller, but I won't yield. Holyfield's career is marked by comebacks, tough losses, and even tougher paths back to the top. He showed that true heart means getting up again and again, no matter how many times you fall. How many would have continued under these circumstances? And how many would have had the courage to face the greatest again and again? Top 6. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is often associated with elegance, speed, and charisma. However, his place on this list has nothing to do with ease, but with the unimaginable heart he displayed in the later years of his career. The young Ali danced, the older Ali stood his ground. And that's exactly where his greatest courage was revealed. The Thrilla in Manila fight against Joe Frazier is one of the most brutal examples. Heat, exhaustion, pain beyond endurance. Ali stayed in the ring even though his body was long past its limit. He took punches his earlier self would have avoided and still kept going. In later fights too, such as against Larry Holmes, his tragic but uncompromising will was evident. He shouldn't have been there anymore, but giving up was not an option for him. Ali proved that sometimes heart means continuing even when you've essentially already lost. Pride, dignity, and an unshakable will drove him. How many champions would have given up under these circumstances? And why is this particular Ali so deeply embedded in the collective memory? Top 7. Sam Langford. Sam Langford is one of the most underestimated fighters in boxing history, even though his heart is almost unsurpassed. He competed against opponents from nearly all weight classes, from lightweight to heavyweight, and faced men who were physically far superior to him. Among them was Jack Johnson, against whom Langford went 15 rounds, even though Johnson was almost 20 kilograms heavier. Langford fought an incredible 313 professional fights and was stopped only twice. These numbers alone tell a story of inexhaustible toughness. But the true extent of his heart is revealed in the final years of his career when he continued to fight nearly blind. Every step into the ring meant a risk for him, not just athletically but existentially. Nevertheless, he carried on because giving up was not an option for him. Langford's courage wasn't in victory but in competing itself. How many fighters would have even fought under such conditions? And how many would have been willing to risk so much just to stay true to their profession and honor? If you felt the true fighting spirit in this list, then don't just be a spectator. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel now, so you don't miss any more intense and in-depth boxing stories, and leave a comment below the video. Tell us your opinion. Which boxer for you had the biggest heart in boxing history? Your comments are exactly what keep this discussion alive and make the sport unforgettable.